Who else is great?
Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman's great.
Yeah, Freddie Freeman's great. I mean, he is unbelievable. He didn't get the home run to become the only player ever to hit home runs in 5 World Series games in one series, but he tied someone. Let's just say someone.
I was going to say, no, I've got it. I've got it. You ready for a history lesson?
Yeah.
All right. First ever walk-off grand slam in a World Series, game 1.
Yep.
Drove in 12 runs to tie the World Series record set by a Yankee back in 1960, Bobby Richardson, who did that in 7 games. He did it in 5.
Yep.
Home run in the first 4 games. He joins George Springer as the only player to home run 4 times in a single World Series. That was with the 2017 Astros. And then he extended his own record, setting a personal World Series hitting home run streak 6 games dating back to 2021 when he won with the Braves. He was hitting 300 with an OPS of 1,000 in the World Series on like one leg.
Right.
This man, 4th player ever with 4 home runs and 10 RBI in a single World Series.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that. You know, again, I was really starting to think, and again, obviously you're never going to know. I was starting to think this may be a guy who wins the MVP even if the Dodgers don't win the series, right?
Yeah.
I mean, who knew? I mean, again, if Judge comes back in the last 3 games and they win and he hits 8 home runs or whatever. But I'm just saying, you know, if they just kind of, you know, slap and tickle a couple of wins together and, you know, then you might say, I might say, if I was sitting there voting, I'm going to give it to Freddie Freeman. Nobody else has been that valuable. But anyway, that didn't come to be. I mean, the MVP part did. But he was a no-brainer for the team that won.
He joined 11 other players to win league MVP and then World Series MVP. So I mean, after the year that he's had, and I love the moment with the Grand Slam, you know, giving the ball back to his dad. Like, Freddie just truly plays and seems to keep, you know, first things first. So for it to happen to a guy like that, you're happy about anything, but I think it just might mean a little bit. But he actually said, you know, I don't really want to correlate this to what happened to my son earlier this season. He's like, I don't ever cross the 2, but he said it is really special that this is the year that this happened.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
cool.
I mean, he was getting pretty choked up, it seemed like,
in
his post-game interview. You know, just, you know, he knows what he went through more than anybody else. You know, that's got to be scary stuff when you think your son might be, you know, John Moore, who I do the weekly show with, his son had a brain, I think it was a brain tumor or something like that. It turned out to not be cancerous and everything turned out okay, but just he woke up one day and couldn't move half his body. So, you know, it's a frightening situation, and glad things worked out. But to, you know, the Dodgers support him. I mean, he left the team. He wasn't, you know,
which is
right.
Like 8 days.
For them to support him like that, it kind of tells you about the chemistry and everything. You know, family first, and I'm sure every team would have done it though, but still, pretty special.
And
deal.
by the way, not back in the day.
No. Like Tom Grieve has never saw any of his kids born.
Nope.
He was never there for the birth of his children because he was playing.
12 hours.
At least he got to be
back
there.
on the flight.
Yeah, but many of them back in the day, they you know, that was just, they didn't make a provision for that. You know, you got to work. You know, might not even play that day, but
Mike
you got to work.
Says Freddie was 2024 version of Seager's World Series heroics.
Yeah, World Series wise for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was a very special performance. There was a very, you know, this team has had a very special. There's Freddie. Look at him getting some much deserved rest with that trophy. I swear, I do that sometimes on planes, and I always end up dropping what I'm holding. Right?
Oh, your World Series trophy? Let's just take a look at what Vanessa Bryant did.
Right, that's what I was going to say. They've had a tie to the Bryants from the Ohtani, you know, recruiting and all that stuff. So this is fantastic.
Earlier in the postseason, they did write "Jobs Not Finished" in the clubhouse. So Vanessa and the Nike team created this and distributed it to players. You know, there's so much greatness when you talk about Kobe Bryant, and he's just a huge part of the LA culture. So I think it's pretty special what they created for this Dodgers team to commemorate and celebrate this accomplishment.
Yeah, so BC and other big Dodgers fans may want to go ahead and see if you can find that somewhere, because that's a pretty cool tie to a couple of awesome one LA accomplishment and one LA icon.
Yeah, I mean, he's passed and he's been gone for some time now, but it's, his memory is still deep in LA, and, his mindset is it's going to remain in sports for the rest of time. I mean, they literally played the Jobs Not Finished commercial ahead of the game last night. And I don't know. I have a lot of words about Kobe, but I loved that.
Yeah, that's very nice. Thanks for joining the DLLS Rangers podcast. Be sure to like us, subscribe to us, and upgrade your subscription. Become a diehard today.
We all silly like the mayor.